I loved my life. I had a fantastic job as a graphic designer. My creativity bloomed in the vibrant office. My work was praised and my ideas were valued. Life was good. And my friends? The best. Barbara and Sarwa were my rocks. We celebrated victories together, sipped wine, and shared stories. We were a team. Barbara was a free spirit, always laughing. Sarwa was thoughtful and grounded. Me, the driven one, balanced them perfectly. Together, we faced anything. Life was a whirlwind of deadlines, coffee dates, and laughter. I wouldn't trade it for the world.
Nancy's world was a blend of professional success and personal joy, with her friends by her side and a fulfilling career that made every day a new adventure. There was just one thing missing in Nancy's life, love, but that was by choice. She had seen enough heartbreak to last a lifetime. Relationships seemed messy, complicated. She had her career, her friends, her independence. What more could she need? Love was for romantics, for dreamers. Nancy was a realist. She preferred her world safe and predictable, thank you very much. Besides, she had her doubts about men. They seemed to say one thing and do another. Trust was hard-earned, and Nancy wasn't ready to hand it over easily.
Love, no thanks. I've got everything I need right here.
Nancy's resolve was firm, her choice clear. She was content with the life she had built, free from the complications of romance. Barbara, on the other hand, was head over heels in love. Her boyfriend Liam was everything Barbara wasn't: patient, calm, and a fantastic cook. Nancy had to admit Liam was a good guy. He brought out the best in Barbara. Seeing them together made Nancy wonder if maybe she was missing out, but then she'd look at Sarwa, who had sworn off dating after a string of bad experiences.
Men are like buses. There's always another one coming along. The problem is, most of them are going the wrong way.
Sarwa was focusing on herself, her career, and her cat, Mr. Whisker. Nancy found humor in Sarwa's cynicism. It was a good reminder that love wasn't the answer to everything.
Maybe I'm not missing out after all.
Different paths, different choices, all leading to the same conclusion. Happiness isn't one size fits all. One Friday afternoon, Nancy rushed to meet her friends for their weekly lunch date. She was running late, her mind buzzing with work deadlines. As she approached their usual table, she overheard a group of men at the next table. Their voices were loud, their laughter booming.
Women, they just want a man with a fat wallet.
And a pretty face. They don't care about what's inside.
Nancy's blood ran cold. She stopped dead in her tracks, anger bubbling inside her. How dare they generalize about women like that?
Unbelievable, just unbelievable.
Nancy's frustration was palpable. The ignorance she overheard was a stark contrast to the respect and equality she valued in her own life. She took a deep breath, ready to confront the situation head-on.
For a moment, Nancy considered marching over there and giving those men a piece of her mind. They needed to be put in their place. But then she hesitated. What good would it do? They probably wouldn't listen. It would just ruin her lunch and her mood. Besides, Barbara and Sarwa were already at the table, their faces lit up with smiles. Nancy didn't want to spoil their afternoon with her anger. Taking a deep breath, Nancy plastered a smile on her face and walked towards her friends, pushing the men's words to the back of her mind. You're late! What kept you? Work, it's crazy right now.
But as they chatted and ate, the overheard conversation kept replaying in Nancy's head. The men's words stung, their assumptions grating on her nerves. Finally, she couldn't hold it in anymore.
You won't believe what I overheard on my way in.
She recounted the conversation.
That's awful.
Just another day in the patriarchy.
The conversation lingered in the air long after they left the restaurant. It had sparked something in Nancy, a flicker of self-reflection. She thought about the men's words, their dismissive attitude towards women. Was that what all men thought? Were her own walls of distrust justified? She loved her independence, her self-sufficiency, but was she using it as a shield, a way to protect herself from getting hurt? The thought unsettled her. Nancy prided herself on being strong and in control. But what if she was closing herself off from something real, something meaningful? Later that evening, as Nancy curled up on her couch with a good book, her thoughts drifted back to the conversation with her friends. She thought about Barbara, radiant in love, and Sarwa, content in her independence. Both were happy, each in their own way. And then there was Nancy, caught somewhere in between, her heart guarded, her walls firmly in place.
Was I missing out on something by shutting myself off from love?
A tiny crack appeared in her carefully constructed facade. Doubt crept in, whispering that maybe, just maybe, love was worth the risk. The weekend passed in a blur of errands, yoga classes, and movie nights with her friends. But the seed of doubt had been planted. Nancy found herself paying more attention to the couples around her, noticing the little gestures of affection, the shared smiles, the comfortable silences.
I couldn't deny a pang of envy, a yearning for that kind of connection. It was a foreign feeling, one I had kept buried for so long. Maybe I wasn't as immune to love as I pretended to be. Maybe, just maybe, I was ready to let someone in.
The following week, Nancy found herself confiding in her friends about her conflicting emotions. She trusted their opinions, their unwavering support.
You deserve to be happy. Don't let those idiots at the restaurant define your view of all men.
Love isn't a weakness, Nancy. It takes courage to be vulnerable, to open yourself up to someone.
Their words resonated with Nancy. They knew her better than anyone, and they believed in her even when she doubted herself. As the weeks turned into months, Nancy started to see the world with new eyes. She began to challenge her own preconceived notions about love and relationships. She wasn't naive. She knew that love wasn't always easy, that heartbreak was a possibility, but she was no longer willing to let fear dictate her life. The walls around her heart, once impenetrable, began to crumble.
I am ready to face my fears, to embrace the unknown.
Her journey of self-discovery had just begun, and she was excited to see where it would lead